All right, hi and welcome back, everyone. So this will be a quick video, and I'm sorry because I haven't been able to attend the tutorial class, previous class, and also today's class. So I'm creating this video to cater towards your assignment 2, which is to on assignment on the morphing shapes. Okay, so I'm going to show you. At least I'm just going to recap on what we have learned on the first tutorial class with morphing shapes, which is to morph between two complex shapes or two logos, essentially. Okay, so before I begin, I'm just going to give you a disclaimer for this video. First of all, I don't think I will have time to edit this video, to fully edit this video properly. So I'm just going to record this, and I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup and just upload it to YouTube. So once it's in YouTube, you can just look at the video, and you can just skip around if I'm pausing too much, if I'm stuttering too much, because I really don't have time to record, to edit, to edit the video properly. But I still want to create this video for you guys, because I know that the due date for the assignment is quite near. So at least I can give you something, give you a basic recap on what we have learned on morphing complex shapes or logos. Okay, so you can refer to this video. And also, before we go ahead and begin, I am going to we are not going to be having tutorial class today, since I have some other work that I need to attend to. But I am going to open up an online meeting in Microsoft Teams from maybe at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Okay, 7 p.m. until midnight. I'll just be in Microsoft Teams. It's not compulsory at all. I'm not going to be teaching anything. If you have problems, if you need help with your assignments, you can just go into the Microsoft Teams and just ask me the questions. So that's all. I'm going to announce this on Telegram also. So if you've seen this video, you probably have already read the message. So that's about it for this for this introduction. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to recap on morphing two different logos or two different complex shapes. So again, if you still remember, we used the Discord logo, which is a vector file, and also the YouTube logo, which is also a vector file. So we're going to be using exactly that. Okay. Before we begin, so just open up After Effects and create a new composition. So I'm just going to name this as main composition. And the settings, I'm not going to go into this because everyone knows this by now. Everyone should know this by now. Once you have created your composition, everything's good and all, import the files that you have downloaded. Okay, the logo files or the shape files. If you want to create shapes, then it's fine. But if you have logos, then just import the logo files. I have the YouTube logo and the Discord logo. These two vector files are inside of the Microsoft Teams folders if you really want to follow along exactly. So you should have the Discord logo, which is a vector file, and the YouTube logo, which is also a vector file. Okay, so once that's done, the next thing we're going to do is to create a background using solids. Okay, so to just simply create a background, it's Control Y on your keyboard or right click here, new solid, and then you can name it as BG for background, and just color it, give it whatever background color that you want. I'm not going to go in too deep into this because this is just really basic. So just create your background layer, and then you should have something like that. Okay, once you have got in to this point, the next thing you're going to do is to enable your the proportional grids. Okay, so essentially a grid for you to align your shapes better or easily. So to do that, simply go down here and then turn on the proportional grid. You can also use the title action save if you want alongside the proportional grid. If you can pick and choose whichever you want. I'm just going to use the proportional grid since it's easier to just see all the divisions on the canvas here. Okay, so once you're done doing this, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to morph the Discord logo. Okay, so drag your Discord logo here, or whatever logo that you have. It doesn't have to be this logo. Okay, it doesn't have to be this logo. And then you can resize it So in the sample video that I've shown before, there's a text down here, right? So for this specific video, I'm just going to go to the basics of morphing shapes. Okay, I'm not going to touch on text morphing. If you want to learn to just recap on morphing text, I am sure that I have that video inside of MS Teams. If you remember the online class that we had during before your mid semester break, we did have that class, so you can refer to that video inside of MS Teams. So I'm just going to align the logo here. Once you have the logo aligned, so that is that. And once you have that, the next thing you're going to do is to just create a shape layer from this vector file here, because this is just a vector file that you can't really do much inside of After Effects. So the next thing you're going to do is to take this Discord logo, right click on the Discord logo, and then go to create, okay, and click on create shapes from vector layer, and you should have the Discord dash logo outlines. Okay. Okay, so by right, I have recorded and uploaded this video in 1080p, so that's the maximum resolution that I can produce, and it's very, very clear. So if you can, please use the Wi-Fi or anything and turn on 1080p so that you can see clearly, because I'm not able to zoom in using the magnifier like I did in class, okay, in this video. So once you have that, the Discord logo should be turned off automatically. The vector file should be turned off automatically. And once you're here, what you're going to do now is to simply go down here and just click on the drop down, go down to contents, okay, and then go down to group 1, and you should see a couple of paths. These paths are the path that you are going to copy, basically the keyframes that you would want to copy, and it depends on your own vector files. If your logo or if your illustration has a lot of layers or a lot of paths, it will have more than 3 paths, like this one. Okay, so the Discord logo has 3 paths. So I'm just going to do this briefly. So the first path is the 2 eyes. These are the two initial paths. Okay, so path 1 is the right eye over here. Okay, and then path 2 is the left eye over here. Since these are different, if you try to draw this inside of Illustrator using the pen tool, you will have to do this multiple times. You cannot just use one line to draw the whole thing here. You have to use 3 separate lines or 3 separate layers inside of Illustrator or inside of Photoshop to draw this. So that's why you have these 3 paths. The 2 initial paths are for the eyes, and the third path is for the overall shape. Okay, so that's out of the way. Open up the path. Okay, open up the path contents here. So under contents group, you should find the 3 path here, or how depends on the logo or the illustration that you have. Just open up all the path layers that you have, and then find the stopwatch here, or the keyframe for the path here. And what you want to do is to just click to create a keyframe. Okay. It doesn't matter where your cursor is or where this playhead is. It can be anywhere here or anywhere on your timeline, because we're not going to be using this layer to animate the morphing shapes. Okay, we're going to be using another shape layer after this. So just create this keyframe, just one keyframe. Okay, we're not going to animate it, so just one keyframe so that we can copy the path from this layer to another layer. Okay, so you should have that. And then once you have this, you can just close this first. Okay, just close the outlines first. And what you want to do now is to create a new shape layer. So essentially what you want to do is to right click, go to new, and then you should find shape layer over here. Okay, this will be an empty shape layer. It's not a rectangle, it's not an ellipse, it's not a polygon, it's not a star, it's not an anything. It's an empty shape layer, but it is a shape layer. Okay, so just create again, right click, new shape layer. You should have that shape layer over there. Now, to ease your work, because we're going to be playing around with a lot of layers, what you can do is to just hit enter on your keyboard on the layer, and then you can rename the layer to what you want. For me, to make it easy to read and identify layers later, I'm just going to rename it as Discord dash logo. Instead of outlines down here, we are going to write paths. like so. Okay, so you should have that by now. This is an empty shape layer and nothing should be here. All right, so once you have this, what you want to do now is to uh, let me just see the drop down here. Okay, what you want to do now is to go to the Discord logo outlines here. Okay, so the Discord logo outlines here. Open it up, and you see this. Just open up to where your keyframes are. Okay, an easy shortcut for you is to just click on the Discord logo outlines where you created the initial keyframes and hit U on your keyboard. That opens up the path neatly on the timeline. So you should have these 3 keyframes over here, or depending on whatever, you know, how many paths that you have in your shape or in your logo. Okay, once you have this, simply highlight these three keyframes here, and what you want to do now is to simply copy. So Control C. Okay, I just hit Control C on my keyboard to just copy the path here, and make sure to select the path over here on the timeline, not over here, because that is not a problem, but in some cases it can be a problem. It can create issues. So to play it safe, just click and highlight the 3 keyframes on the timeline here, like I'm doing right now. Okay, so Control C to copy, and then you can close that, and then you can go down here and click on contents. Okay, open up the Discord logo path. Okay, open up Discord logo path, click on contents, and once you click on contents, it should not have a drop down because it's an empty layer. Nothing should be here. Just click on contents and paste the keyframes by hitting Control V. Okay, all right. So if you open up, you should have the keyframes should be pasted over here, and you should see that your Discord layer is actually an empty path without a fill color. That's because this is an empty shape layer. It doesn't have any color. It doesn't have a fill color. It doesn't have anything. So okay, at this point you should have this. Okay, so your layers or your path. Okay, your path should be over here. And what you can do now is to just create give this layer a fill color. Okay, so to give a fill color, what you can do is to simply go to contents here. Okay, you can just close all the paths here. Contents on the right here, you should see that there's an add symbol here, right beside the content. So just click on it and just find fill or gradient fill. Depends on what you want. Okay, it doesn't have to if you follow your creativity, it doesn't have to really follow the initial color of the logo. It can be whatever color that you want, but for the sake of this tutorial, this video, I'm just going to insert or add a fill for the layer, and you should have that. So this is the new layer for your Discord for this Discord logo here. What you can do now is to just open up the fill layer here. It should be under contents, fill, and you can change the color to whatever you want at this point. Okay, so I'm just going to use the color picker and pick the color of the initial Discord logo here. And what you can do is to use the selection tool. Hitting V on your keyboard can also do that, and you can move it. And you can also center the anchor point if you want. So to center the anchor point, if you still remember, just hit Control on your keyboard. Okay, while holding Control on your keyboard, double click on this this tool over here, which is the anchor point tool. By double clicking, you can center the anchor point easily, and then you can scale, move position, whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. And I'm just going to move it just a little bit to the center. And once you are here, you should have 2 of these logos, right? So you can already disable the Discord logo outlines. Okay, so Discord logo outlines and Discord logo.ai. So it doesn't have to be Discord logo. Your logo layer, the vector file, and the outlines file should be at this point should just be turned off or deleted. We're not going to use it anymore. In any case, if you the only purpose that I see that you want to leave this over here is to maybe use it as a reference for the colors. Okay, So I'm just going to turn off these two layers and just leave Discord-logo paths. So this is the new shape layer that we created. Okay. So that is that. Okay. So once you have this is after you have set up this this thing over here, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to morph into the intermediate shape, or the middleman, because like I have explained before, complex shapes do not have the same paths between the two shapes that you are transitioning. For example, the Discord logo here has 3 paths, okay? 3 separate paths. But the one that we are going to transition to or morph to, the YouTube logo here, only has 2 separate paths. So 3 and 2, these do not tally. So we cannot use the simple method of morphing the shapes. So that's not going to work. So we need a middleman to cater or to morph between these two logos. So this is going to morph into the middleman, and then the middleman is going to morph into the YouTube logo. So that's 3 times morphing. Okay, it's going to go into three morphing processes instead of the conventional through 2 times. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do now, once you're here, you can create whatever shape that you want. I recommend you to create a simple shape, okay? It's not that I recommend. It's just to make it easy, just create a simple shape. When I say that it's simple shape, it's a shape that has only one single path, okay? So that shape can be whatever shape that you want. It can be a rectangle, it can be a circle, it can be a polygon, it can be anything, a rounded rectangle, a star, as long as it's a simple shape with only one single path. Okay, sorry. Give me a minute. Okay, so for me, I'm just going to use a simple circle. So I'm just going to create this circle over here. Okay, so this is a new shape layer. Okay, make sure this is a new shape layer. It's not a mask. It's not created under any of these layers. Make sure it is a separate shape layer. Okay, so you have shape layer 1 over here. This is a new shape layer, and you can rename this to maybe circle or anything. So to make it easier for you to understand, I'm just going to rename this as middleman circle, because this is the middleman that's going to transition between these two logos. Okay, once you get to this point here, what you can do is, you don't necessarily have to color it here, because we only need this shape layer the same way we need the outlines layer to copy the initial path keyframe. Okay, so once you have this, it doesn't have to be centered, but you can center it if you want, but it's not necessary that you do that, okay, because we're not going to be using this shape explicitly. So once you have created the circle, okay, open the drop down menu, open contents, and under contents should be ellipse 1. So open ellipse 1 and you should see ellipse path over here. Okay, and if you open ellipse path, you should see size and position, which is different from what we have in the Discord logo path. Under contents and under path, it's only the path keyframe, so it's not the same thing. So we have to convert this into a Bezier curve or Bezier shape. So what you want to do now is, if you have drawn any simple shape, and I do recommend you that you just draw a simple shape for this, what you want to do is to right click on the ellipse path 1, okay? Not ellipse 1, not stroke 1, not fill 1, not any of these. Right click on ellipse path 1, okay? So I right click on ellipse path 1, okay? Pay attention. I right click on ellipse path 1 and convert to Bezier path. This is what you want to do. Click on convert to Bezier path, and you should see now the ellipse path has turned into path 1, and you should have this path keyframe over here. This is what you want. Okay, once you have this, what you want to do is to simply click on the stopwatch to create a simple keyframe. Just one keyframe, because we only need the keyframe for the path. Okay, so once you have that, it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter where your playhead is. It can be at the end, it can be at the beginning, anywhere in the middle, anywhere. Just create this path of, create this keyframe over here. Just one single keyframe. And once you have that, what you want to do is to simply, again, do the same thing. Highlight the keyframe on the timeline. Okay, not not on the layers panel here. I don't recommend that. Click, drag, and highlight on the timeline itself. Okay, once you have highlighted, again, you can copy this by right clicking and find the keyframe, find the option to copy keyframe, or to easily copy it, just Control C. You can copy the keyframe. Okay, I just hit Control C on my keyboard. After highlighting this keyframe, Control C to copy. And once you have done that, you can close the middleman circle over here. Open Discord logo paths again. Okay, open Discord logo paths again. Open the contents. Find where the paths are, the 3 paths. Okay, for me it's 3 paths. If you have 4, if you have 5, then find all the 5 or the 7 or the 10 paths. Okay, you get what I mean, right? So open up all of these, and what you want to do is to go to a different point. Okay, a different point that maybe just go forward, more forward than these initial keyframes here, and highlight these 3 paths here on the layer, and Control V to paste. Okay, make sure to paste this one keyframe 3 times. Okay, basically what we're doing, we're pasting this over here. Okay, that's 1, and then we're pasting this on the path 2, so that's 2. Okay, that's 2 keyframe, and then we're also pasting it on path 3, so that's 3 keyframes. Okay, so you want to have your initial path here, which is the Discord logo path, and then the next path is the circle, which is you cannot see here because it's over there, because again, when you are playing with morphing shapes, the keyframes can, the anchor point can get messed up so much. So that's okay, no problem. Don't worry too much about the about the anchor points, because it's in most cases it's really complex and really it's a hassle to control, so don't worry about it. Okay, so once you are here, okay, once you are here, after you have pasted these 2 keyframes, this is the 1 keyframe, this is the 2nd keyframe over there. See that it's out of the timeline, right? It's out of the canvas or out of the composition. You can just click and drag, move it. So you see that if you have moved the circle over here, you'll see that the Discord logo also moved over there. So how can you fix this? Okay, one way to fix this is to keyframe the position and the you can keyframe the scale as well, but the important thing is you keyframe the position of the Discord dash logo paths, or whatever layer that you have. You have these two different set of keyframes pasted. Okay, so let's go and animate the position. So if you have all of these open, you can open up the position by simply holding Shift P on your keyboard to open up the position. Or you can just, open up all of these contents. The position should be under transform, and this is the position that you want. Okay, so once you have this, let me just zoom back in so you can see. You can already, delete. You don't have to necessarily delete. You can just turn off the display for the middleman circle. We don't need the middleman layer anymore because we already have the keyframe for the middleman. Okay, once you are here, once you have this, what you want to do is to simply go to the position and animate the position. For example, this is the initial position. So initial position is aligned with the initial position of the Discord logo. Okay, so it's over here. Just click on the stopwatch to animate the position. Okay, and then go all the way down where the animation stops. So to the next keyframe, okay, to the next keyframe of the path, which is where the shape, the logo turns into the circle or to the middleman. So once you are here, what you can do is to just click using the selection tool. Just click and drag the circle here. Okay, so you can click and drag the circle here, and now if you try to play the animation, you'll see that the Discord logo just morphs into the circle. Okay, so that is what we want. All right, so that is that's basically the fundamentals of morphing shapes, okay, morphing complex shapes. At least this is the fundamentals of it. The next part is to morph from the Discord logo into the YouTube logo, and the process is actually just the same. Okay, so once we have this, maybe I'm just going to put the position over here. Maybe over here, so it's centered. Okay, you can also use the align tool. Where is it? Let me just see if I have it here. Oh, okay, it's over here. Okay, so you can align it exactly to the center. Okay, once it has transitioned into the circle here, you want to hit align center horizontal and align center vertical, so that it is exactly centered and it's exactly at the point where you want to transition to the next logo. Okay, so once you're done with this, you can close the Discord logo paths. We don't need this anymore. You can for the moment you can just turn off the Discord logo paths because we don't need it yet. Okay, so once you're here, simply click and drag the YouTube logo right now. Okay, now again, do the same thing, the exact same thing. You can resize it however you want, and once you have the size all perfect. Okay, the next thing you want to do is to, again, and I'm just repeating the same thing I did before, right click on the vector file, hit create, and create shapes from vector layer. Okay, so once you have that, you should have the YouTube logo outlines over here. And again, what you want to do is to open up the drop down for the YouTube logo outlines, open up the contents, open up the group, and for this one, since this is a different shape, it has only 2 paths instead of 3 that I have for the Discord logo. So open up path 1 and path 2. If you have 10, if you have 11, if you have 20, how many paths that you have, open all of them and create a keyframe for each of the paths. Okay, so each of the path, create a keyframe. So I have 2 keyframes over here for all of the respective paths. So path 1 and path 2 have their keyframes. What you want to do now is to simply click and drag and highlight all the keyframes on the timeline and copy. And before you actually copy, okay, what you want to do is to again create a new empty shape layer. So new shape layer, and you should have this shape layer over here. You can rename this to YouTube logo outlines if you are doing with YouTube. Okay, it doesn't have to follow this naming convention. You can actually you can actually do any of the the name is not important for the time being. Okay, you don't really have to follow this. I'm sorry, I lost my thoughts. Okay, all right, so just rename it to whatever you want, as long as it's as long as you can identify it. So YouTube dash logo paths. So once you have that, this is an empty shape layer. Again, there should be nothing under the contents. So what you need to do now is to go back to YouTube dash logo outlines, open back up the path. Okay, so the path for all the paths. If you have 20, again, if you have a lot of paths, then it's more than 2, then open up all of the paths and copy the keyframes exactly like before. Copy and paste it in the contents of the new shape layer. Okay, so click on the contents and Control V to paste. And if you open up the contents now, you should have, and you should see, you should be able to see your new paths over here. All right, so once you have this, okay, the next thing we're going to do is, again, you can add a fill color. Okay, so let's add a fill color. So I'm just going to, okay, it's already red in color, so perfect. You can change the fill color to whatever color that you want. Okay, once you have a fill color, it doesn't have to be a solid color. It can be a gradient or it can be anything. Okay, you can reposition this. So I'm just going to center the anchor point and reposition it to the center. and I'm just going to scale it up like so, and you can turn off or delete the logo outlines. Okay, the outlines layer can already be deleted. You don't need it anymore. What you can do now is you can go back to the middleman circle. Okay, this one, the layer that we created before, middleman circle. Open up and find that exact one tiny keyframe that you created before. We need this again. Okay. So you can just copy this path. There are actually two ways. Okay. There are actually two ways for you to copy. Either you copy the path from the middleman circle over here, or better, you can copy the path, the circle path from the Discord logo path. So if I turn this back on and turn the YouTube logo off, let's see. Oops, sorry. Okay, if I do this, okay, this is the circle that we are going to transition from. So this purple circle over here will transition to the YouTube logo after this. So what you want to do is to, you can either copy from the middleman if you want. If you don't want, you can copy straight from the Discord logo paths or whatever your first logo. You only need to copy one keyframe. Okay, you only need to copy one keyframe. Say I have 3 paths and I have 3 keyframes here, or if you have 5 paths, if you have 10 paths, you should have 10 keyframes. But you don't need all of them. You only need one. Okay, you only need one. So what you can do is to just highlight that one tiny keyframe and copy it, Control C, and then you can turn it back off. Go back to the YouTube logo path. You can turn it back on and open back the paths. Okay, so under contents, you should have path 1 and path 2, or if you have more, then it should be more. Instead of moving forward from this keyframe, move it backwards, because instead of turning this YouTube logo into the circle, we are going to turn the circle into the YouTube logo. So put it anywhere behind the initial keyframes. So just paste it on these all of the paths layer. Okay, if you have 10 paths, then paste it on all of the paths layer, and you should not be able to see because that shape should be out of frame, as it should be. So that is how it works. Again, once you have this, what you can do is again animate the position. It should be under transform. Okay, under contents is your paths, and under transform is your position. So find the position and then go to the initial keyframe, which is the circle, and then you can click on the position stopwatch to animate it, and then on this position you can align it horizontal and align it vertically to the center, and then go down to the final keyframe, which is to the YouTube logo here, and then also position this layer center horizontal, center vertical. So this is what you should have. Okay, this is what you should have. And once you are done doing this, essentially you are actually done. If you open up the Discord logo path, okay, Discord logo path, so the first layer that you had, you'll see that this layer is overlapping. So it changes from the Discord logo to the circle, and from the circle to YouTube. So once you're here, I don't think I should touch a lot on this. What you can do is to open up all your keyframes. Okay, so by hitting U on your keyboard to open up your keyframes for YouTube logo path and Discord logo path, and just position your keyframes accordingly. Properly position your keyframe. For example, this one starts from 0 seconds. See, 0 seconds to over here, and then the YouTube logo starts from here and it goes to here. Okay, so if you see that it's not exactly the right size, then you can just change the scale of the YouTube logo or the Discord logo, and just note that you need to do a little bit of fiddling around, because the anchor point is not exactly in the center. So if you try to scale it, it's going to scale it to the right or to the left. So yeah, that's how it essentially works. Okay, I'm already almost 40 minutes in. I hope you can get the picture on what I am trying to you know to I'm trying to share over here. Okay. One other thing that you can do, since if you change it from here to here, you cannot see the initial logo, and over here you'll see that the purple circle is still over there. Is to click on the YouTube logo path over here. And if you go to the end over here, you see that you can trim this layer all the way to here, or the shortcut key is control let's see. Let me just read. Okay. The shortcut key is alternate. So alt and open or close square bracket. So open square bracket trims from the start, and the close square bracket trims from the end. Okay. So it's this thing over here. Let me just see. So what you want to do is to hold alt, and then the open or okay, so that's open square bracket, or you can also do close square bracket. Okay, so this is what you want to do if you want to trim these from the from the center, from the start or from the end. Okay, so that is how you do it. And since this is a harsh cut, this is really harsh because the color transitions directly from purple to red, which is not good, which is not what you want. What you can do is to extend this a little bit more to give it time for it to change color. And then you can move this. Let's see. Let me open up everything. You can move this on the timeline to match this projects, to match the amount of time that you have added to the initial logo for changing color. So it changes to circle, and then this part will be changing color, and then it will start with the YouTube logo, and that will happen. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to show is to simply change color. So the way that you can do this is by going to Discord logo paths or your initial path layer. Okay, initial path layer that you have animated. Make sure to position it where the circle has already appeared. Okay, where the morphing of the shapes end. Okay, so the morphing for the initial logo ends here. And over here, if you still remember, we have added a fill layer, or it doesn't matter if it's a solid layer or a gradient fill. Okay, so we are going to animate that fill layer. So what you can do is to just close and open back up the drop down menu for Discord logo or your initial logo, and then you can go down and find the fill over here. Fill 1 is over here, and then you can simply click on the stopwatch for the color of the logo. So go down right before it transitions. Okay, right before it transitions. So that's where it transitions. So just one frame before it transitions to the YouTube logo, and change the color to the color of the next logo, which is, for me, it's just red. So if you see, it changes from Discord to circle, and the circle changes color to red, and then it transitions to the YouTube logo. And that is about it. That's all that I want to share. It's just a simple recap, but I know that it's already 40 minutes in, and I don't think I'm going to edit a lot, so you can just skip around because I don't really have time. I'm really rushing to go to work after this. And so yeah, other things that you can do is to just maybe enable motion blur if you want. You can enable motion blur, and that's going to create a nicer motion or animation for you. Okay, and you can also use the graph editor. You can also easy ease the keyframe. Okay, that's the one thing that I always touch in class. Yeah, don't forget to easy ease your keyframes, all of that stuff. But the purpose for this video is to only show you how you can transition from one shape, morph it into another shape, in terms of complex shapes. Okay, Simple shapes are much easier to do. The concept is exactly the same. It's just that the process is much simpler than this when it comes to simple shapes. But for complex shapes, this is how you do it. And I guess that's all. So if you still have questions, you can PM me on Telegram. No problem. You can PM in the class group, or you can personally PM me. Um, I'll answer your questions. I'll help you when I'm a little bit free, because today is a very full day for me. And again, just to remind you again, after after I'm done with everything, and after you are done with class, today at maybe at 7 o'clock, or a little bit over 7, I'm going to create an online meeting inside of Microsoft Teams. That is not compulsory, okay? Not compulsory, not mandatory. You don't have to join, okay? But I'm going to be in there, and I'm not going to teach anything. The purpose of me creating this class, this online meeting, is to help you with your assignment. So if you still don't understand something, if you still don't cannot grasp the concept of morphing shapes, you can just enter the class. I mean, you can just enter the Teams, ask me the questions. I'll help you. Once you're done, you can leave. Okay, that's the only purpose I'm doing that. I'll maybe create the class from a little bit above 7 until midnight, just to give time for those, for you to tend to your personal businesses before actually doing the assignment. And yeah, if you have anything, just ask in the Telegram group, or PM me personally. And I guess that's all from me. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next class. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.